Today I am extremely happy to be here and convey my good wishes on this occasion. I wish you all have a very prosperous career and good luck to all of you.
Ambedkar, the voice of the voiceless.
Great speakers and future leaders of this country are going to present just in a minute. It's not easy. It's easy to speak for us, but to present something and everything just within a minute or two is not easy. It needs a lot of homework.
Interdisciplinary thoughts and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar.
Good afternoon to all the respected dignitaries on the stage and off the dais. And this event was being organized by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Chair, Andhra University. And this is the first time where in an event was being made to integrate and unify the thoughts of the great Dr. B.R. Ambedkar in various sectors of fields. And his thoughts are being unified and inculcated to all the students over here and to all the present dignitaries here. And this is a thought of our Professor, Chairperson, Stephen Sir, and I am V. Kalyan Ramarao here representing Law College. We all of us do know that Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was a great scholar. He was a great scholar in many fields like political science, education, science and technology. But when it comes to law, he has some particular affinity. Not just because he was the first Law and Justice Minister for a free and independent India. He described the Constitution as the supreme law and he acted as the chairman for the drafting committee. And when we go to the law and the Constitution, we can find that fundamental rights, which are enshrined in the Part 3 of the Constitution, gives rights of right to equality, right to life, right to liberty, right to fundamental freedoms. And all these rights, some are actionable against the state, some are actionable against individuals. But here I say the beauty of our constitution is when our fundamental rights are being violated, we can directly approach the Supreme Court, and it is under Article 32, right to constitutional remedies. And this right to constitutional remedies is a brainchild of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He thought to protect the fundamental rights using another fundamental right to constitutional remedies, and he described itself as the heart and soul of Indian Constitution. And I am here proudly saying that nowhere in the world you can find such a provision protecting your rights, and this is the work as a provision made and given to us by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and this is a special affinity of Ambedkar towards law. And as I have already said, he has particular affinity and is a great scholar in many fields, and this is his affinity towards law. And I would give to the next his role in economics.
History shows where ethics and economics come in conflict, victory is always with economics. This quote was famously quoted by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. B.R. Ambedkar was one of the greatest intellectuals of his time. He is well known for his contributions to legal humanity, scholar, journalist, educationist, social reformer, but above all, a well-known economist. So, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, in his famous book, The Problem of Rupee, Its Origin and Solution, had made interesting contributions which he presented before the Hilton Young Commission. These points were taken into consideration while forming the RBI, the Central Bank of India, which forms the backbone of our banking system. His understanding of the monetary policy was such that he also contributed not only to monetary economics but also to public economics. In his book, he's also talked about the evolution of provincial finance in British India, which led to the division of finance between states and center. He's also famously quoted about gold standard versus gold exchange standard, where his thoughts were contradictory to that of a famous economist, J.M. Keynes. Such was his contribution to international economics, where he took stand not only for developed nations but also for developing nations. He said that gold standard was a necessary move which would provide a sort of stability in the currency for developing countries like India, and against the idea of money supply being linked to gold. Price stability was important over exchange rate stability for the benefit of poor people. Finally, he also banned the quoty system in 1937. This quoty system was a brainchild of the British, where courts, the middlemen, would charge heavy taxes from the farmers of India. Banning of this system not only led to farmers of India to own their own lands and cultivate their own produce, but also helped improve their respect. So I would like to conclude. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Good afternoon to one and all. I am representing Dr. B.R. Ambedkar contributions towards science and technology. Everyone feel that Dr. B.R. Ambedkar always belongs to law or economics, but this is quite different. He is also belonging to science and technology as well. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is having a deep appreciation towards science and technology. He believed that science is helpful in the development of the country as well. He emphasized that the scientific research would be answerable for the country's many of the challenges. In the past few years, we had faced the dramatic disease corona. So, due to the development of technology in our country, we had gone through this. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, being a strong advocate of education, he believed that scientific education is very essential for the social and economic growth as well. The main motto of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is that the marginalized communities also need to be educated through science as well. The scientific education and scientific development would be answerable for the many of the drastic situations in our country. For example, poverty, inequality. These can be overcome by science and technology as well, by uniting us. So he increased the funding towards science and technology. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has realized the aim of education, such as modernization, self-realization, character formation. These can be achieved when science and technology were introduced into the curriculum. So the learner can inculcate the habits of learning the rationality. So according to B.R. Ambedkar, be educated, be organized, be hesitated. Thank you.
Good afternoon, respected delegates and my dear friends. I am Divya from AU College of Pharmaceutical Sciences, stood here to represent pharmacy as on the occasion of Dr. Ambedkar ji's 132nd birth anniversary. As of now, we are familiar that Dr. Ambedkar ji was a multidisciplinary person belonging to the fields of law, arts, economics, political, etc. But even our pharmacy field could correlate some of his few achievements and contributions in drafting the law and fight against women discrimination and also advocacy for public health led to remarkable development in the field of pharmacy. In terms of pharmacy profession, Dr. Ambedkar ji influence can be seen through his advocacy for public health, and access to healthcare should be a fundamental right of every citizen, and worked towards establishing a universal healthcare in system of India. In recent years, the pharmacy profession in India also been involved in initiating aimed at improving public health outcomes such as promotion of generic medicines and the management of chronic diseases. And also, Ambedkar ji laid a strong foundation in the law which could help us able to implement and frame every pharmacy law related to Pharmacy Act, Drug and Cosmetics Act, Medical Termination of Pregnancy Act, Opium Act, etc. Dr. Ambedkar ji gave a beautiful lesson of equality and fraternity through the Indian Constitution, which he had drafted, is still being followed by our healthcare provisions by providing essential drugs at low cost and all the medical care services despite of what caste, color, gender, etc. He also contributed in the foundation of establishment of public healthcare centers in the state of Maharashtra. And also he laid a strong basement for women education and women empowerment. At present, in every educational system, mainly in our pharmacy, we can observe up to 70% of women, which made proud for the women. And also he encouraged the study for the rural students, so that by including the caste system and developing the caste system, we can observe rural students coming to the urban states for the study. Finally, I want to say that these efforts reflect Dr. Ambedkar sir's vision for a healthy and prosperous India, and his legacy continues to inspire generation of pharmacists and healthcare professions in the country. Thank you.
A very pleasant good afternoon to the respected dignitaries on the dais and off the dais, and my dear student friends who are the future pioneers of India. So, for each and everyone, a very happy 132nd Ambedkar Jayanti celebrations. And before going to the topic, I would like to thank our beloved Stephen sir, who has been working completely from the past 2 days to make this successful event. And myself, Yatindra, I am from Department of Civil Engineering. So, as all of you wondered, I am also wondered how can we relate the engineering and mainly civil and everything with Ambedkar. When going to that particular points, I got into a point first of all, I would like to coin a term our beloved Honorable Prime Minister of Modi in the Maritime Investment Board in 2016, actually he said a wonderful word the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is the modern architecture of water navigational policy. Actually, what it is, how it is related actually. So I want to give you a strong the first water and power policy in India has been given by 1940 to 1946, in which in 1945 B.R. Ambedkar led that particular thing and given that particular water policy. And he has instituted two powerful institutions. One is the Central Water Navigation and Power Supply and the Central Technical Power Board. And for this, regarding this all, we need to think the idea of him, the water is the main source for our thing, and his idea in providing water to and to save to future, actually the Damodar Valley project and Bakranangal project and the projects which are laid on the river of Chambal or Deccan, those all are the idea of him. So, and rather than this, we can have the book which was opened by our beloved President Ramnath Kovind, in which it was written by our author beloved Ilayaraja, the Modi and Ambedkar. When we compare these two, in this also there is a wonderful actually, because we don't know, we are using digital India we are saying every day. But when we come to digital India, from the book of the Modi and Ambedkar, author has actually interrelated very very accurately how the ideas of Ambedkar has led the Modi to give the nation as the digitization, digital India word. The term coined digital India, how the Modi has crossed, the Honorable Prime Minister crossed through the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So when we are seeing this, he is not only the one who is the one visionary leader for not for that particular time. For many years and present and many years to come, his legacy and ideas, his not only commanded to India, and it is spread over whole world, and it will be spread. And as our part, and at the starting our beloved sir Stephen sir said, it is our duty and our criteria, because he born on this particular soil where we born. So our thought and our idea and our ideology, we need to take that idea and we need to take him before. I would like to thank everyone and one and all to give me this opportunity.
Good afternoon everyone, myself Bhavya, I'm a student of literature. We all know that Ambedkar is a world-class lawyer, Dalit political leader and chief architect of Indian Constitution. It is pertinent to note that Ambedkar is a staunch anti-oppression advocate for Dalits through his politics and writing, and is affectionately referred to as father of Dalit literature. Right from his childhood days, Ambedkar was a voracious reader, and reading is what inspired him to become an author. Literature and media on Ambedkar have taken a cue from his writings to show his exposure to caste discrimination at a very early age. This discrimination at the hands of classmates, teachers and his neighbors left a lasting impact on Ambedkar. in the year 1908, we can find the very first evidence of Ambedkar's interest in Shakespeare. Ambedkar adapted Shakespeare's famous tragedy, King Lear, and he staged a Marathi play named Shahni Mulagi, which translates to a clever girl. Ambedkar contextualized literature in Indian context, requesting that literature be given a new life for the newly liberated country, which is in need of integration and brotherhood. And I would like to quote a famous saying of Dr. Ambedkar that literature should be illuminating and writing should be intellectually convincing. Ambedkar reiterated the fact that it is the field of literature that has to formulate the tenets of humanities as a whole. It is a fact that Ambedkar hasn't done any creative writing, but his struggle against untouchability and towards liberation of Dalits in India enabled the emergence of Dalit literature, which is a prominent genre till the date. Thank you.
My name is P. Uday Kumar. I am from M.Pharm department. I mentioned about Ambedkar make significant contributions related to pharmacy. Dr. Ambedkar is a man of rich personality. Dr. Ambedkar is well known as a social economic reformer, and also he is a first law minister after independence. He made a drastic changes while our independence. He played a key role in passage of a Pharmacy Act 1948 to promote the quality education in pharmacy. He passed a bill on Pharmacy Act in 1946, which will came after action in 1948. He made a committee which is Drug Inquiry Commission related to pharmacy in 1930. As a part of Food Drug Administration, he advocated for the rights of farmers and is the proponent of a balanced diet, which we followed in our Anganwadis in nowadays, and it will be followed by our future generations also. He advocated for the inclusion of food and nutrition as a part of our education, and he made a drastic contributions related to health. He addressed about depression. Dr. Ambedkar also made a research on tuberculosis at the time of 1940s. So I would like to conclude with one proverb: health is wealth.
Myself, Shravani, from AU College of Science and Technology, I would like to say some of the contributions of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar towards scientific education. He was a great advocate of education. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar believed that scientific education is vital for social and economic progress of India. According to Article 51AH of an Indian Constitution, says that the scientific temper, it shall be the duty of every citizen to develop the scientific temper, humanism, spirit of inquiry and reform. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's speeches and writing emphasized on developing scientific temper in country. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar recognized the importance of research and scientific development towards the country, and the major importance of science is to develop the scientific attitude among the learners in a proper way. Scientific temper is an evidence based on reasoning, critical thinking, and understanding the society is as important as science, because the society influences science and technology. So, all over, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar ideologies towards science emphasize the need for the scientific education and research to promote the progress and betterment of the society. So I would like to say, and I would like to conclude with one point, how the science and technology is upgrading in a day-to-day life. In the same manner, the legacy of the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar life will be progressed, upgraded to the eras of the civilization. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.
Yeah, good afternoon all. I am Achyut Adepalli from Electrical Engineering. Yeah, we all know Ambedkar Garu as remembered more as father of Constitution, Indian Constitution. But I would like to mention that his immense contribution to economic infrastructure development was not less remarkable. I would like to support my statement with a chain of events. The vision and blueprint for electrifying the country was formulated by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Garu in the early 1940s as a chairman of Policy Committee on Public Works and Electric Power, which was established in the year 1943. By the year 1945, Ambedkar Garu and his team analyzed the problems and the opportunities for the electricity generations. He was the person who decided to establish Central Technical Power Board, which was useful for hydro power station sites, power system development, and hydroelectrical energy analysis and thermal power station investigations. Ambedkar Garu believed that cheap and abundant electricity can only be provided through centralized system. Accordingly to that, Electricity Supply Act got enacted in the year 1948, and India started electrifying by the plan formulated by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar Garu and his committee. By 1973, the rural electrification has increased by 6% and 50% in the 1991 and into the 43% in the 2001. But still there half of the population has not electrical access, and at that time the government launched Rural Electricity Supply Technology Mission to enhance electricity access to every household with grid or off-grid technologies. This was followed by major policy reforms with the passage of Electricity Act 2005. So while now India is almost on the way to achieve the complete electrifying after 75 years of Ambedkar Garu formulating of the plan for electrification, and B.R. Ambedkar Garu emphasized on the significance and need for the grid system, which is still even working successfully today. By this reason, in the 75 years ago, he thought that electrification will be a part of the development, and he took the steps and necessary steps to electrify in the India. So I think now I can support my statement that his immense contribution to economic infrastructure development of the country is not less remarkable. I think you all agree with me now. Yeah, thank you all for your patience.
A very good afternoon to the expert panelists on the dais, my fellow panelists whose views I was very interested to listen to, and all the participants whose patience I really appreciate. Ambedkar is undoubtedly a man of law. Man is made not by his contribution only, but he is made by the love and affection he has for that field. He once said that I want to become a judge. He said that he wants to become a good lawyer, and he said that he enjoys and finds passion in teaching law. He also served as the principal of a law college, and he also said that he wants to give a good constitution for his people, the Indians. And he did. And one of such visionary actions and thoughts of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is the Uniform Civil Code. And there are two major areas in which the Uniform Civil Code is mostly misunderstood. One, the very essence and the meaning of the Uniform Civil Code, and two, that it is just a merry unfulfilled wish of the Messiah of Justice, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Uniform Civil Code does not speak about the uniformity or the similarity that needs to be prevailing in a particular religion. No, it does not talk about the uniformity that needs to be presented in any custom or practiced tradition of a particular religion. It speaks about the equal and uniform distribution of equity. Let me repeat it, equity. Equity is the defining and the foundation stone for equality. Equality without equity means nothing. This is a quote by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and I read it. I personally don't understand and know why religion should be given such a vast and expansive jurisdiction. And he continued by questioning what liberty is for. And I also said that he is the one who said that this Uniform Civil Code, without its practice, will just hamper the social justice which he worked for his entire life. Ambedkar was not against customs or traditions of a religion. And let me quote, he was against the evil customs, the Varna Vyavastha. He was not against the categorization of people by occupation or the caste system. He was against the inequality that existed in the caste system, the deteriorated form of the Varna Vyavastha. He was not against the division of labor, he was against the division of laborers. And that is why he himself said, Manu is not the past, he is the living past. It is there and is present in our conscious. And the second, that it is just a merry unfulfilled wish of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. No, my friends, let me emphasize. The Article 44, the DPSP or the Directive Principles of the State Policy, and Article 13 clearly talks about his motives and his real reformation by the Uniform Civil Code. Uniform Civil Code and its concept is embedded in every constitutional principle. And I would like to conclude my speech by saying that if there is an alpha and omega for the world, then let me say Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is the alpha and the omega for the equality, fraternity, and brotherhoodness among the Indians and the Indian justice. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone, respected dignitaries, teachers, and my dear friends. I am Kalyani from the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, also known as Baba Saheb Ambedkar, was not only a social reformer, jurist, and a politician, but also a prolific writer and a journalist. Ambedkar used his writings skills to propagate ideas and fight for the rights of the marginalized sections of society. Ambedkar started his career as a journalist in 1917. Ambedkar founded and edited several newspapers and journals throughout his career, including Mukh Naik, Bahishkrit Bharat, and Janata. Ambedkar addressed issues such as caste discrimination, untouchability, and social inequality. Ambedkar also used his newspapers to promote education, self-reliance, and political consciousness among the Dalits. Ambedkar's journalistic contributions were not limited to his own newspapers and journals. Ambedkar also wrote extensively for other newspapers such as the Times of India, the Hindu, and the Independent. Ambedkar's writings were instrumental in shaping public opinion and influencing policies that were aimed at promoting social justice, equality, and fraternity. Ambedkar's legacy as a journalist continues to inspire generations of writers who seek to create a more just, equitable society. Ambedkar was a strong advocate of a free press and believed that the media could play a crucial role in shaping public opinion and influencing policy decisions. In his book, The Problem of the Rupee, its origin and a solution, Ambedkar wrote about the importance of the free press in the development of a nation. Ambedkar was also critical of the role of the press in India in that time. Ambedkar believed that the Indian press was largely controlled by few powerful individuals and that it was fulfilling its responsibility to the public. Ambedkar called for a greater independence and professionalism in media and for journalists to be more accountable to the public. Overall, Ambedkar believed that the free and independent press was essential for the development and of a just and democratic society. Ambedkar saw the media as a powerful tool for a social change and believed that it was a responsibility of the press to use this power for the betterment of the society. Thank you.
I am Gunji Shivakoti. Here I am representing the Department of Political Science and Public Administration. I am begin with Bharat Ratna Baba Saheb Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's quote, "Political power is the master key to change the society." In Ambedkar's life, more than 30 years, Ambedkar played as a political leader role. Ambedkar served as member of Bombay Legislative Council from 1926 to 1937. Ambedkar served as member of Bombay Legislative Assembly from 1937 to 1942. Ambedkar served as the Ministry of Labour Viceroy's Executive Council from 1942 to 1946. Ambedkar served as the member of Constituent Assembly from 1946 to 1950. And Ambedkar was the chairman of the drafting committee. Ambedkar was the first law minister of independent India. In Ambedkar's life, Ambedkar always fought for the political justice to citizens of India. To fulfill his desire, Ambedkar established some political parties. In 1936, Independent Labour Party. In 1942, Scheduled Caste Federation. In 1956, Republican Party of India. Ambedkar also started several societies for educated people, socially and politically. such as Bahishkrita Hitakarini Sabha 1924, Samata Sainik Dal 1924, Samaj Samata Sangh 1927, Depressed Classes Education Society 1928. More than 90% of Ambedkar's life, Ambedkar fought against inequality, caste system, untouchability in Indian society. In this context, Ambedkar did several socio-political movements like Manusmriti Dahan 1927, Mahar Satyagraha in 1927, Kalaram Temple Entry Movement 1930. Ambedkar in his lifetime wanted to see people with freedom, equality, prosperity. For that, freedom, equality and human rights were given great importance in our constitution. Letter of the Indian Constitution tells us wisdom of the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is the great man who created the political system of India through making of the Constitution of India. Ambedkar compares the right to vote to a diamond weapon. I conclude by wishing everyone to use their vote in a proper manner. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Shreya from Computer Science and Systems Engineering. For a long time, it has been taught that Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar's ideology can be achieved by social means such as policy making, legal formulation. But nowadays, we have modern engineering and internet services which have the power in realizing Ambedkar's ideologies. And this is becoming more evident with the revolution of IT in India. We are in the digital age, the era of information technology and services. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar ji strived tirelessly for equality, and what he envisioned is now being implemented as a digital revolution which brought a lot of human advancement and equality. In the olden days, the lower caste people had to sit separately in schools. They were treated as untouchables and were not given proper education. But now, we have classes in online mode. So people don't have to interact physically and there is no chance of discrimination. All the students can access online classes, online books. Everyone is given equal opportunities. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has dreamt of such a society where there is no inequality. If any work is to be done for the people who are poor, they have to go and wait at that particular office or banks. If there is a person with good name and fame, he'll be given higher priority. There comes inequality again. But now, due to the Digital India movement, which Dr. Ambedkar had dreamt for, is being implemented as the digital revolution. Lower caste people and women were not treated equally in many sectors like banks, hospitals, railways, etc. But today, with the help of online transactions, advanced smartphones which carry all these features, online banking, online education and much more, everyone is treated fair and free. So this is what Dr. Babasaheb Ambedkar strived for, and we are achieving it through modernizing and digitalizing our country. Thank you.
A very warm good afternoon to all the dignitaries present on and off the dais. I am Grishma. Today I am here to express my views regarding Ambedkar's contributions towards science and technology. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's contributions to the Indian Constitution did not specifically address science or scientific research. However, his emphasis on education and equal opportunities had played a significant role in the development of science and technology. So, under the Indian Constitution, education is now a fundamental right, and now the government is responsible for providing a free and almost compulsory education to almost all the children up to the age of 14. So, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's emphasis on education and almost all the equal opportunities has led to the development of skilled and worked force. This led to the development of science and technology. Furthermore, the Constitution of India also provides the establishment of scientific or research institutions. These institutes like ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, CSIR, Council of Scientific and Industrial Research, and also the Department of Science and Technology, DST, has been set up to promote scientific research and institutions in the field of science and technology. Finally, I'd like to conclude it by saying, while Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's contributions to the Indian Constitution did not specifically address science or scientific research, his emphasis on education or equal opportunities for all of us has played a vital role in the development of science and technology. Thank you.
Good afternoon, all dignitaries and my dear friends. Myself Chidananda from Pharmacy Department. So many people say like that there is no relationship between pharmacy and Ambedkar. So many relationship between their pharmacy and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was strong advocate for public health, healthcare system for all, and he believed that healthcare system is one of the fundamental right of all citizens. Works towards as a establishing universal healthcare system in India. He vision aligns with the pharmacy profession to commitment, patient circle care and social responsibility. Overall, Ambedkar contribution to the field of pharmacy in India, social justice and equality of all communities, particularly those that had been historically marginalized. Thank you.
My heartful pranams to all the dignitaries on and off the stage. I am D.M. Nasri from Dr. B.R. Ambedkar College of Law. I measured the progress of the community by the degree of the progress of women which have achieved. Is quoted by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar in 1929. It is profoundly wrong that to recognize Ambedkar belongs to only Dalit leader, but he had made a tremendous contribution to uplift the status of women in the society and provided a legal rights to the women. That's what we are enjoying now. Ambedkar understood the necessity of providing a women's space where they can realize that their ability and true potential. He wanted the women to get a proper access to education, voting, marriage and independence, which is very necessary for any human, especially women. Ambedkar was a strong advocate for the rights of a woman. He played a major role in framing of Hindu Succession Act and Hindu Marriage Act. It is a precedent to Hindu Code Bill. Here, with this Hindu Code Bill, a woman has an opportunity to fight for her rights and promote herself to the society, impressing upon to the inclusion of women right, a right to get divorce and property right, and Women Widow Remarriage Act, and equal share for the women in those male domination society. And it is ensuring the women to get a financial security. Women also came forward to fight for their rights and justice. Yeah, Ambedkar also pushed reluctantly for the rights of the women and maternity benefits, and he also fight for the right to vote for a woman. In India, there is no right to vote for a woman at that time, but he stand for the benefit of the women and created access to vote, which is a most important and essential part in democracy society. One of the most prominent contribution to women cause came the form of introducing the importance of maternity benefit. Yes, in India, he fight for the maternity benefits in 1920, and we have enacted the Mines Maternity Benefit Act in 1929, which gave an opportunity to all the working women, and it gave a privilege to come and work to be financially independent. Yes, not only this, due to this influence leads a many tremendous enactments which favored for the women, like a Legal Remuneration Act 1976, which gave an cause for equal pay for equal right, and it is the constitutional mandatory too. And Dowry Prohibition Act 1961, which criminalized the taking of dowry, which prohibits the taking of dowry. Yes, in this modern world, many developing countries are now fighting for the reproductive rights of a women. But our men, our Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has already argued to get a reproductive rights of a women, which and also he recommended the birth control measures to be made available to them. See how great he is, isn't it? Yes, he is the man not only for the women, he is the not only for Dalits, but he is the man for sex workers. He argued to get access to the sex workers in all the place as like us. I mean, as like all the people. I'm not separating them, but this is the past situation. Yes, my friends, today I'm here in front of you and delivering my speech about the great person, a multi-faced person. This is all because of the contribution of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar towards the women and towards the rights of the women. I must be grateful and thankful throughout my life for giving me this opportunity by the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Thank you, sir, for giving this opportunity, and thank you all.
I'm Narendra Chikkala representing Commerce Department. So everyone think about commerce like only industries belong to commerce. But one of the major concept like Dr. B.R. Ambedkar mentioned in olden days is agriculture. He told that agriculture is also representing an industry, where we see agriculture is a sector, which means like it is also an industry in nowadays. At that time, they are not sophisticated technologies. Everyone used to maintain some traditional technologies, and their yielding will be very less. At that time, Ambedkar fought for yielding. He developed some activities with his articles. He have done research on agriculture, as the articles given in when he is 26 years old. He have written an article, which means in 1917 he mentioned in an article called Small Holdings in India and Their Remedies. So which means like he have mentioned agriculture should be developed according to the conditions. Okay. So after that, after the agriculture, he have mentioned one more thing. Like in earlier days, when independent India became this separation from colonization, after the colonization, independent India just INC, Indian National Congress, just wanted to support Russia. Like whether it is like at that time it is socialistic country. So in the socialistic country, the people are like everyone have factors of production like land, labor, capital, and organization. Okay, and later it is like now at that time, if we have mentioned, he mentioned that INC should support US. Like it is a capitalistic country at that time. Now also it is capitalistic. At that time when they have mentioned capitalistic, it is like the superior bodies are like who are holding the industries. Nowadays, like if we see, India doesn't have veto power in UN. We can see something like 5 countries which are holding veto power, like Russia, China, and France, and US and UK. So all these 5 are holding veto power, and they doesn't wanted to extend this power to any other country. If you can imagine this, like it is like a game. Like if you say Russia wanted to support neighboring country, like it is having already power, and being strategic nowadays, Russia is supporting China, and US is supporting India. But can we say US will give their extension to India? I mean, like will they give veto power to India? Can we say yes or no? No, because they have the supreme power and they doesn't want to share it to other countries. And there is one more contribution from recent India, like Minister of Social Factors and Empowerment and Government of India together developed Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's Business Excellence Awards. It is like entrepreneurs who are coming with new ideas, and they are representing small scale industries or whatever may be large scale industries or manufacturing industries or intermediate industries which are supporting the manufacturing units. But everyone have motive of supporting the Indian economy. So these awards are given to the people who are coming with the new entrepreneur thoughts. And let me conclude this with a line, like no person on this earth is motivating continuously the youth and as well as society. He is only one, B.R. Ambedkar. Thank you.
A very good afternoon to one and all. I'm Alekia and I'm from Science and Technology College. In the year 2015, United Nations adopted 17 Sustainable Development Goals, and these are linked to Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Yes, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar understood that sustainable development is important for uplifting the living standards of people of India a century earlier. Let us look at the first goal, zero hunger. How do we achieve it? The answer is simple, by developing agriculture. But farmers depending on traditional techniques doesn't give you the yield you desire. We have to bring advancement into agriculture like hybridization, which not only increase crop yield but also crop quality. And then economic growth. We all know agriculture is the backbone of Indian economy. I repeat, agriculture is the backbone of Indian economy. Do you agree with me? Yes. And it provides 29% of country's GDP. So Dr. B.R. Ambedkar conducted many seminars, written research papers and various articles for finding solution for Indian agriculture. It was mentioned in his article, Small Holdings on Indian Agriculture and the Remedies, 1917, and Status and Minorities, 1947. It was also repeated in 1936, Ambedkarite Independent Labour Party. And you can find the result of it in 2016 Global Hunger Index that the anemia rate in children is reduced by 11%. Yes, it was achieved because of following Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's policy framework. So I conclude, though there is no direct evidence that Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is involved in science research, but believed that scientific education would create a more rational and analytical mindset that could be applied to solving India's problems. Thank you.
My humble pranams to everyone who present over here, and I am R. Durga Praveen from Dr. B.R. Ambedkar College of Law. And I want to speak on the topic how Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is attached to labor law. We can say Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is one of the pioneers in enacting and developing the labor law. And Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is the one who is behind the social security legislations. And Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is the one who is behind the maternity leaves, workman compensation, gratuity, paid leave. And he is the one who reduced the working time from 14 hours to 7 hours a day. And Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is not only confined to discriminate or to abolish the gender discrimination, but is also there to enhance the product distribution. And state should have more responsibility. And many people say that Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is against the state. But if we observe the speeches of him, in one of his speeches, he said, state socialism does not mean to abolish the state, but it means to abolish the evil effects of communist society. And he believed that state is only the one which can remove all the disparities among the laborers. And he said that products must be nationalized. And he also pronounced various labor charters during his term as a labor member in Viceroy's Executive Council. And he also advocated the holiday benefits and maternity leaves. And if you think, he in the year 1936 formulated the Independent Labour Party after the year 1935, which gave the efforts to give the 1935 Act autonomous legislation. So he started an Independent Labour Party on 3 basic principles. The first principle is labor is the one who works hard, and if you take the example, he is the one who makes this mic and he is the one who makes this table, but he does not, and he is not getting the adequate respect. And always there is a discrimination among the working class and the upper class, and always the upper class will discriminate the lower class. And he said that if the power is within the hands of the lower people or the laborers, then they know how to develop themselves and the country can be developed very easily. And he advocated there must be a state that is a welfare state but not the police state. And he also said that the state should be on the principles on liberty, equality, fraternity. And finally, if we look at all the provisions are established in our constitution, whether expressly or impliedly, if we look at the Article 39 of Indian Constitution, it includes all the division of work and the equal pay for equal work, and all the labor laws were given out the pioneers of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Finally, life should be great rather than long. This is the quote quoted by the Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. He lived for only 65 years, but the work done by him is cherished and will not be forgotten forever. Thank you.
Good afternoon to everyone. Myself Manjusha from Pharmacy Department. We pharmacy also have a significant contribution in the field of pharmacy just because Dr. B.R. Ambedkar sir. He played a key role in the passage of Indian Pharmacy Act in 1948, was established the Pharmacy Council of India and created standards of education and practice of pharma in India. The act was aimed to improve the quality of pharma education and promoting the ethnic practices of pharma. In addition to his work on pharmacy legislation, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar also educated the use of traditional Indian medicines who had efforts the terms of treating common alignment and promoting public health. He worked to promote the integration of traditional and versional medicines in India. Today, the pharmacy profession in India around the world is guided by the principles of ethnic practices, patients, center care and social responsibilities. These values align with Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's vision for the just equality society. His legacy continues to inspire the generations of pharmacists and healthcare professions. I would like to conclude with the justice also evoke the ideas of equality and proportions of compensation. In short, justice is another name of liberty, equality and fraternity. Thank you.
Good afternoon to all. I am Dinakar from Mechanical Engineering. So everyone believes Dr. B.R. Ambedkar belongs to Law or Commerce Department. But I'll start with one example about Ambedkar. During 1942, there is a boiler accident in Bombay. This was caused due to feed pipe internal corrosion. Ambedkar ji formed a committee to understand the cause of accident. The outcome drawn from the committee is lack of skill during regular inspection of an engineer. So, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar made technological amendments in Boiler Act 1923 to ensure safety of boilers and workers. And also, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar ji has introduced two technical training schemes to enhance the skills of an engineers by sending them to other countries. These training schemes are under Labor Department schemes. I'll tell you what are those two schemes. One is sending students or workers abroad for higher studies in technical and scientific subjects. And second one is sending abroad technicians already employed in the industry for further training or enlarging their industrial or professional experience. In these trainings included engineers from various sectors of engineering like mechanical, electrical, shipbuilding, aeronautical, radio departments, marine, civil, structural, metallurgy, locomotive construction, and etc. And also, Ambedkar ji states that the training schemes is not exhaustive and other training programs are also to be considered if required for better industrialization growth of nation. His vision about these trainings to engineers to enhance the growth of technology advancement of the nation. And also, Ambedkar ji supported and involved various mechanical engineering related developments in railways and water management system by his vision and step towards the nation growth. I'll conclude it by the following the footsteps of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar ji. The government of India also has introduced Skill India mission, which is benefiting so many students to build their bright future. Thank you.
Good afternoon. I am Pooja from Science and Technology. There are many contributions of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar on science. One among is environmental and environmental health. The plan of action for people, prosperity and planet has environmental at its core. along with poverty and inequality, to protect planet and create healthy environment and ensure equality, dignity and development in harmony with nature. In this conception of relationship between society and nature, the untouchable labor becomes an important category that mediates and controls the changes and exchange of matter between man and physical environment. The thought of Ambedkar over environmental problems and degradation not only because of over-exploitation of resources, but it also due to inequitous access of different social groups on resource base. And the Ambedkar's views on environment and development not only provide layers to Indian environmental thought, but also helps to explain some of the roots of environmental justice movement in India, which involve Dalits' rights over natural resources and the cry for their right to development. Ambedkar's environmental perspectives are central to Dalits' ecological vision, which was significant in the modern environmental movement of country. Thank you.
Good afternoon, one and all. I am Sushma Sugandhi and I am representing chemical engineering. This is a great opportunity to share my views about the works of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar in the field of chemical engineering. Our India consists of many minerals and mines. To test the mineral quality, we don't have sufficient equipment. So, Geographical Survey of India suggested that required more metallurgical and national chemical laboratories be fully equipped to assess the quality of Indian minerals and in other ways prove of great assistance in the development of mineral industries. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar supported and proposed the development of laboratories to be set up in India. It helps domestic treatment and utilization of Indian minerals and ores. In such case, exports of these minerals to other countries considered by Government of India. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar sent several Indian engineers abroad for training in these specialized laboratories. In those days, workers who are working with chemical exposure in the industries may cause unhealthy conditions. To avoid these unhealthy conditions, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar made amendments to the Factories Act to benefit the workers in chemical industries. The working hours of the workers has been reduced from 14 hours to 7 to 10 hours per day. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has written a report on labor conditions in the chemical industry. This report has helped in the promotion of engineer welfare who is working in the industry by making efficient labor laws to benefit the engineers. With this, I would conclude that B.R. Ambedkar was not an engineer, but Ambedkar's vision of socio-economic infrastructure development has engineered the future of our nation. So, the more we know Dr. Ambedkar, the more we own Dr. Ambedkar. Thank you.
Good afternoon to all the dignitaries present over here. Myself Shravani from College of Pharmacy. I am here to represent Dr. B.R. Ambedkar's significant contribution to the field of pharmacy in India through his work as a social reformer and a politician. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has an indirect relation to the field of pharmacy through agriculture. For the development of agriculture, Dr. B.R. Ambedkar has written many research articles, organized many seminars and conferences in order to solve the problems of agriculture and farmers. Many problems like land reforms, fragmentations were discussed by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar to develop and promote the agriculture sector. This has led to the development in farming. Many pharmaceutical products like cocaine, opiates, cannabis are used as medicines are produced through farming. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar was the main man for the growth and development of agro-based industries and industrialization of rural areas. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar also proposed the way of collective farming. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar fought for the development of social economy and industrialization. This has led for the development of many food and drug industries. Ambedkar was instrumental in the establishment of Food and Agriculture Department in India, which aimed to improve agriculture productivity and ensure food security. Thank you.
Good afternoon, one and all. My name is Vinay and I am from IT and CA department. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar
the man who saw modernity. He was the only philosopher with a design to rebuild India into a modern, urbanized, industrialized civilization with surpluses. B.R. Ambedkar's India, therefore, would be an urban industrial society. What is a village but a sink of localism, a den of ignorance and a narrow-mindedness? Ambedkar famously worded his thoughts. To comprehend Ambedkar even more, let me ask, did any Indian leader have the view of Indian villages? Ambedkar's goal of turning India into an urban industrial society matches that of builders of modern Europe and modern day America. To Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, rural India is a bare-bodied man and urban India is a clothed man. Most of Ambedkar's contemporaries, including the great Mahatma, idealized villages. In that sense, most of Ambedkar's contemporaries lived with a pre-Renaissance consciousness. Ambedkar alone, with a post-Renaissance consciousness, looked into the future rather than continued to be wedged in the past. To most of Ambedkar's contemporaries, the West civilization was an evil, India the Jagatguru. The thought of Ambedkar's urban India is possible due to IT. Without IT, this may not be possible. By this, we can conclude that Dr. B.R. Ambedkar is the man who saw modernity. Thank you.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am Jahnavi, representing Electronics and Communication Engineering. Today, I am here to express my views how Ambedkar is related to communications. Dr. B.R. Ambedkar believed that communication systems should be used to promote equality, democracy, and social justice. Ambedkar also believed that this communication is the main source to aware people about equality, justice, and the right to freedom of speech and expression. According to him, all the citizens have the right to express their views and opinions freely. The key ideology of Ambedkar was importance of access. He believed that access of information and communication technology should be a fundamental right of all the citizens. He advocated for the use of communication technologies to spread awareness and promote social justice. Ambedkar supported the growth of press because he recognized the power of press for social change in our country. As we all know that Mook Nayak, which means the leader of the silent, was an online newspaper published by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. Through his writings in this paper, he used it to spread message of social and political reform and to empower and mobilize the marginalized societies in India. In recent years, there has been a tremendous increase in the use of mobile phones and the internet in India. The government of India has launched many initiatives to increase internet penetration and expand access to communication technologies, particularly in rural areas. All these initiatives are in line with Ambedkar's vision of universal access to communication technologies. The Government of India has also launched several initiatives to promote the use of technology for social welfare and empowerment, such as Digital India campaign, which aims to transform India into a digitally empowered society and knowledge economy. All these initiatives are grounded in Ambedkar's vision of using communication to promote social justice, equality, and democracy. Thus, from Mook Nayak to present Digital India, everything was laid on Ambedkar's vision. His ideas continue to inspire generations of Indians, and his legacy is an important part of India's journey towards digital future. Thank you.
So first, I'll just begin with saying that each and everybody who sat over here, each of your views were amazing. I have so much of respect for you. So first, when I say Ambedkar, a lot of things come into your head, right? And one of those things was his contribution towards the upliftment of the downtrodden communities. So it all started when he was a little kid. He was born into the Mahara caste of Madhya Pradesh. He was discriminated and he was segregated from his classmates by his teachers. And cut to multiple years later, that little kid, he became the first law minister of independent India. That little kid became the face of Dalit movement. He fought for the rights of downtrodden and he played a major role in mobilizing them. He advocated for the policy of preferential treatment for a particular section of people who were economically exploited, who were socially oppressed, aka the reservation system. He was one of the first who advocated for reservation for the SCs and STs in Lok Sabha and the State Assembly constituencies. In 1948, Article 17 was put into implementation, and it advocates untouchability, abolishment of untouchability. It abolishes untouchability of any form. One really notable work of his is called Annihilation of Caste. How many of you heard of that? Annihilation of Caste. Very few. That is surprising, but okay. So, when we read that, we get an insight into his ideologies. And we know that with the changing context, we see a change in his strategies. But one thing that has remained constant throughout from the beginning to end was his emphasis on morals and ideals. And it is on the basis of these morals and ideals that he stepped down from his position as a law minister because there has been a compromise in his morals. Why did he have to do that in the first place? He didn't have to do that. He did not have to step down as a law minister. He did that because he couldn't get the Hindu Code Bill to pass. He did that because he couldn't deliver on the promise he made to his section of community. Today, whatsoever we have achieved, we achieved only on the basis of his struggles, on the basis of his sacrifices. Ambedkar's devotion to this cause, it inspired a lot of people to come and speak about their experiences and their stories. And it will continue to inspire many people from now on. Thank you so much.
Deserve a standing ovation from all of us. Shall we all stand and give them a big round of applause? What a wonderful, wonderful day we have. Whoa. Shall we raise our hand and say something like this? Can we do this? 30 speakers just to deliver the speech in 1 or 2 minutes. They work day and night. There is an amalgam of intellect and a galaxy of intellectual community here surrounded. You are surrounded by so many intellectuals. But the reason why I give the prime time to these students, I strongly believe you are the future leaders of this country. I am very sure about it. And that's the reason why probably I never know in this particular hall, while senior high court advocate, guest of honor is here, senior academicians here, registrar is here, honorable principals are here. We arranged these seats in such a way that we all want these students to sit in front of you, indicating that this university is for students and for students. And Honorable Vice Chancellor, always he tells the same thing, that the main stakeholder of this education or any education institute for that matter,
conceived and organized by Professor James Stephen Garu in a very innovative way. Usually when we attend the birthday celebrations of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the programs are limited to garlanding the statue. We listen to a few speeches by public figures, some VIPs, and the programs are over. For the first time in my professional career at Andhra University, now of course I am retired, I have witnessed a wonderful, innovative, thought-provoking program, and I really consider myself very privileged to be part of this this afternoon's program. When I received the invitation from Professor Stephen that I have to take part in this function, I was a little hesitant. Then, for the pleasure of meeting the young minds, all of you, I immediately said, yes sir, I am coming, I'll be with you. And today, after watching the performance of all these presenters, their insights, I am so deeply touched. They have given us a very new insight into various aspects, the interdisciplinary thoughts. The title of the program is Interdisciplinary Thoughts and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, and they have perfectly justified by their short and sweet speeches. And with his permission, as a token of appreciation from my side, I would like to present this little book, Dr. Bhimarao Ambedkar, written by Vinod Tiwari, a very nice book which I read some years ago when I was registrar at Ambedkar University during 2008-9, and I'll procure 30 copies of this book and pass it on to Professor Stephen as my appreciation to all these nice presenters. By watching this video, we all witnessed the greatness and the contribution about the ideology and philosophy of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. In his opening remarks, Professor Stephen mentioned in one sentence that one of the greatest persons ever born on earth. That aptly summarizes the greatness of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. I will remember this statement of Dr. Stephen for my lifetime, I assure you.
4.5 decades ago, we used to sit like this. మేము అలా కూర్చునేవాళ్ళం ఒక 45 సంవత్సరాల క్రిందట డ్యూరింగ్ 1977 to 1981 when I was a student in law college. So I remember, God bless you all. God bless Andhra University. We are assembled here to celebrate the 132nd birth anniversary of Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. I deem it as an honor to be with you on this occasion.
Very learned, personalities on the dais, including Professor James Stephen and all the students, 30 students from different disciplines who illuminated my mind with different dimensions on which Ambedkar contributions. Hitherto, I never heard. The contributions can also be examined from different disciplines so that the holistic perspective, the ideology of economic empowerment and social empowerment, attainment of equity and justice. This is never done by any discipline in isolation. Baba Saheb Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, the first law minister of independent India and only the chief architect of Indian Constitution. But today, after listening to all these 30 presentations, one need to remember and admire Baba Saheb Ambedkar as a nationalist, statesman, sociologist, philosopher, anthropologist, historian, economist, and leader, manager, finally the jurist. Needless to mention, he has submitted a thesis in economics and political science. I personally appreciate the presentations and also preparedness, and now I made to believe, given the opportunity, my professor used to say that Indians can live up to the level and we should not consider ourselves as second to none. This is proved through these 30 speakers. I offer congratulations once again to them.